So I wanted to come on here, and this is not just a bit of a plug, but a bit of a web recommendation. And I do believe I've talked about this person before here on YouTube, but I want to recommend JOVIAN16. That's JOVAN16, and I wanted to mainly recommend another one of those stories. I want to recommend another one of those stories which, kind of gets, I guess you could say, kind of gets overlooked with his other stories. Like Nano Shift, Nano Dash Shift, which he currently has on a hiatus, don't know for how much longer. Is one of his primary stories. But this one has taken center stage as of late because I think it's a little bit more funner to write for, a little bit more interesting, a little bit more risque, if you will, kinky, erotic, whatever you want to call it. Just overall fun to write for because, it seems that when you look at the difference, I believe, in my opinion, between both stories that he's done, and he's done other stories too. He has other stories on his page as well, so you have to check those out. I recommend you check those out. Basically, I recommend you check those out when you get when you get the opportunity. And I do apologize for the noise in the background. I'm walking past the old Kona bar here in Newman, and people that sell tacos in the back, I guess, legally, for people to probably take home for dinner. Hold on for a sec. But getting back on topic, I want to, like I said, recommend, this story. And like I said, he has other stories too that he's done, which I do recommend checking out. But this one is called Amanda and Nicole. This one's called Amanda and Nicole. And yes, it is a shapeshifter story. And it does deal with the fact you have these two girls who... from what I can recall reading some of the earlier chapters, these girls came across this spell book that has enabled them to gain shape-shifting powers. Now, what it seems to be with these powers is they do seem to be permanent. But JOVIAN16, J16, we'll call them that for sure, but JOVIAN16, J16 can change that. They can change that from a story perspective if they want to. But anyway, just like with any human character in these kind of stories, they are kind of caught off guard a little bit by these powers, but once they finally do get used to them, of course, they have fun with them. In very creative, ways. They have fun with them in very creative ways that, again, we as, the real people, the real world, can relate with. When we come across and read these kind of stories, we can kind of relate to, what it would be like if, these kind of things existed. Anyway, like I said, the girls, once they got used to these powers that they have, even though it came as a shock to them at first, like I said, they ended up having the kind of fun you would imagine if you had these kind of powers yourself. It's basically shape-shifting into whoever or whatever they wanted. I mean, we had some early examples of, one of the girls in her sleep, dreaming and shape-shifting herself into different fantasy creatures and stuff that seemingly was, I guess, beyond impossible at first, or they didn't think was possible to even accomplish since they were new at it. But I guess, in her dreams, she decided to, start, letting loose because, of course, she was dreaming. So, so she figured, heck, dreams are not real. I can fantasize in my dream that that I could do anything with these powers. And, that's what she ends up doing, not realizing that she's actually doing it in her sleep while she's asleep on the bed. And her friend has to wake her up and basically be like, whoa, what's going on with you today? How did this happen? But yeah, the powers have, the more they've learned, the more the powers have grown and evolved in a sense. And they even get around to the point that, both Amanda and Nicole decide, you know what, if we shapeshift into somebody, we shouldn't call ourselves by our real names. And I think it's Amanda or Nicole, I don't know which one it is, I have to go back and look, that kind of starts this off by telling her friend, oh, don't call me Amanda anymore, call me so-and-so's name. Because she's turned into this new form or into this new person that she's become. So basically when they shapeshift into whoever they want to look like or whatever they want to look like, even if it's somebody original or unknown, they agree, taking on a new identity or at least a new name for the new identity is probably for the best. It's probably for the best if you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, they have some fun. They've had some shenanigans, some they've had crazy shenanigans and stuff, and they've almost basically kind of got themselves in trouble because, they would shapeshift sometimes unbeknownst to the other into the same person when they would go out to parties and stuff. And it's just one wacky moment after another, if you kind of get what I'm saying. But this is a fun Patreon only story that you could check out at JOVIAN16's Patreon page. You can check it out there. They've gotten to the point now where not only have they reconvened with each other after kind of going their separate ways at a party, but reconvened with each other at a hotel. Because they thought they were other people and decided to go and have some fun at this hotel, not really realizing, I should say, when they got there, that we just found each other again, because I think it's Nicole that basically decides to show off what she could do, and that's when I think Amanda's like, oh my God, it's you, where have you been? So anyway, long story short, they start to decide to get a little, they decide, hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. Okay, like I said, they decided they want to get a little frisky, little NFSW, if you will, and they start shape-shifting into all these different forms, finally settling on, two Catwoman forms, and then I think it's Nicole that decides to share another fetish or fantasy of hers, where she likes to be encased completely by leather, but that's making her seem anonymous to somebody, and Amanda joins her, and then Amanda's like, I want to try something else. And then that's when we get into a part where I think the end goal is for JOVIAN16 to go the gooey, melty route that we saw Trouble TRO go with the epilogue to Agent Pink 2, Bedlam's Revenge, when Emily got involved there. But before then, we saw Betty and Demonica Veronica kind of go that direction, and you kind of knew they were going in that direction with one of the teaser pictures before. But yeah, I wanted to just recommend that to you guys here on YouTube, on my channel. So I want to recommend it to you guys as I just turn my phone back on to unlock it so I can end the recording. But let me know what your thoughts are. Comment below. Live chat during the premiere. Super chat.